Saturn orbits the Sun in 28 years. A quarter of this is 7 years. This is a quarter of a Saturn cycle. And if we observe the changes in human life, then human life can also be divided into 7-year cycles. The cells that make up our body periodically die over the years, but a larger part of them is regenerated. Our body creates approximately 300 billion new cells every day, so every 7 years we no longer have any old cells, which means that we are completely replaced. Between the 7-year cycles, we reach a turning point when physical and mental changes can be observed in any person. Of course, there is no sharp boundary between the cycles. They are rather transitions lasting 1–2 years. A human life can be divided into 12 parts by dividing it into the quarter Saturn cycles described by Rudolf Steiner. Although the length of life is now quite variable, the ideal length of life is 84 years according to this cycle. We could also say that the ideal age is 84, but most people die earlier, others live longer. Where the world is accelerating, as in the West, they barely reach the age of 70, while in India or other spiritually stagnant countries they live for hundreds of years. Each 7-year-old, so-called Saturn cycle defines a sphere and level of intellectual development, starting from the developmental task of a small child up to the intellectual learning of old age. In the first 7 years, everyone's task is to learn to live according to basic rules and norms. At this stage, it is very important that the child spends as much time as possible with his mother and his closest family members. This stage ends with the change of teeth and all children become school-ready around the age of 7. The child starts going to school in the second period, from the age of 7 to the age of 14, and his social relations also stabilize. In children, by the end of this period, the gender also stabilizes, but this is where the aesthetic sense and system is formed. The most important thing at this age is to establish a healthy system, to follow the programs designed and conceived by him, to find a balance between play, work and rest. The third cycle lasts from the age of 14 to the age of 21, which is the beginning of adolescence. Independent logical thinking develops at this stage, and the individual is very concerned with the issue of freedom and independence at this age. Although in such cases a person longs for greater independence and freedom, he is far from being able to exercise true freedom, especially until he has a sense of real responsibility. In several countries, someone is considered an adult from the age of 21, and it is true that an 18-year-old is not yet able to think like an adult. The fourth stage of life lasts from the age of 21 to the age of 28, which is the stage of emotional development. It is definitely related to relationships and family, and this is the period when a person completely, spiritually, separates from their parents and leaves their old family, if their financial means allow it. During this period, most people found a family. This is the stage of life where the newborn gets his place in society and chooses a profession. In this period of life, you can deal with emotions and get to know the subconscious. The fifth stage between the ages of 28 and 35 is the age to learn to focus. In fact, this is the stage of life when we actually start our spiritual journey. Normally, at this age, the phase of getting to know the physical world is over. At this age, devotion, love, and self-control must be learned. But at the same time, our personality must be clarified and made shining, creativity and the flow of information must be stabilized. What you have learned so far must be turned into gold here. In the sixth stage of life, which lasts from the age of 35 to the age of 42, the analogical worldview comes to the fore, but at the same time, this is also the era of internal cleansing, spiritual tidying up, when a person reviews the spiritual level he has achieved so far and puts himself in order. However, habit is the opposite of alert, conscious activity. During conscious activity, we know what, when and why we do it, but not during habit. Therefore, it is time at this age to review the emerging habits, become aware of them and abandon what is unnecessary or harmful. It is time to eliminate the economic worldview and the desire for profit within ourselves. The seventh stage lasts from the age of 42 to the age of 49. This is where the second, more spiritual half of life begins. Knowing the truth. This is our real task. And to restore the measure. A special effort must be made to restore, maintain, and balance the middle ground. In Japan, the old-timers say that a 50-year-old man is a young man. It is really a young man who finds measure and balance. In the 8th stage, from the age of 49 to the age of 56, the goal is to experience and understand deeper connections. This is the era when one must turn around. This reversal brings with it the fact that certain things in us must die in order to be reborn, and we must overcome this fear of death and loss. Many people start to engage in spiritual work at this age. They start to study reincarnation or metaphysics. At the same time, one must also think about and interpret one's own physical death. What are you taking with you? However, the most difficult thing is not this, but understanding, forgiving and letting go of the karma of the ancestors. The 9th stage lasts from the age of 56 to the age of 63. This is the stage of life in which our beliefs and value system are definitively formed and stabilized. But what is faith? Primarily not religiosity or credulity. First of all, mental development must be kept in mind. So awareness and the responsibility that comes with it are at the top of our hierarchy. What is most important in this stage of life is that faith cannot be imagined without self-knowledge. The 10th stage, which lasts from the age of 63 to the age of 70, is the stage of wisdom, meditation and universal responsibility. At this age, you have to be wise. The ancient peoples had the advice of the elders, when the old sages decided on the fate of a single-walled people in case of problems, and these elders were all in this Saturnian cycle. Today there is no advice from the wise and old. Today there is a home for the elderly, a hospital and a clinic. Today, the old man is not wise, but senile. This stage of life is already a consequence of a life that we have experienced well or badly. The 11th stage lasts from age 70 to age 77. This is a period of freedom in life, but it is important to realize that there is no freedom without responsibility. A person really understands freedom at this age. At this age, however, a person is already wise, responsible and free. A free person cannot be harmed, because he is free from all attachments and dependencies. This is the mark of universal free will. Those who have understood and experienced this can leave this world with a calm heart. The last stage of life lasts from the age of 77 to the age of 84, and every day above that is a gift. This stage is the age of universal love and unity. At this age, the conscious, wise and free person experiences that everything and everyone is one. From here, a person can consciously pass to the afterlife, because he has fulfilled his life. He made his way. Everyone feels the wise love he radiates. Everyone wants to learn from him. He is the one who knows the answer to all of life's questions. There are very few people who can go about their lives in the right way and achieve the state of oneness. Those who make it this far are the masters who have been born many times on this earth. Anyone who gets stuck in some stage of life or makes a serious mistake must be reborn until he learns all the lessons and becomes a master himself.